Could China be planning for World War III? A question that has been unsettling the minds of many. It's not just a product of wild speculation, but a concern rooted in the shifting sands of geopolitics and the rise of a new global power. China's dramatic economic growth over the past few decades has been paralleled by a significant expansion in its military capabilities. From constructing state-of-the-art aircraft carriers to developing advanced missile systems, China's military evolution has been nothing short of remarkable. In the backdrop of this, simmering tensions in the South China Sea, issues related to Taiwan, and the delicate dance of diplomacy and power play with the United States and Russia, have all contributed to the speculation about China's potential World War III plan. To understand this, we first need to look at China's military capabilities. Let's delve into this compelling narrative and try to separate fact from fiction, as we try to make sense of the world we live in today. China's military capabilities have grown significantly over the past few years. This isn't just a matter of increased numbers. The quality of China's military hardware has seen a dramatic upswing. From stealth fighters to hypersonic missiles, the technological prowess of the Chinese military is a force to be reckoned with. Let's dive a bit deeper into this. The prowess of China's Air Force is embodied in the J-20, their homegrown stealth fighter. This aircraft represents a leap forward in Chinese aviation technology, and its capabilities are a testament to China's growing technical sophistication. The advancements don't stop in the skies. China's Navy, officially known as the People's Liberation Army Navy, has been flexing its maritime muscles. China's first domestically produced aircraft carrier, the Shandong, entered service in late 2019, marking a significant milestone for the nation's naval capabilities. And the growth continues. China is now working on its third aircraft carrier, demonstrating a commitment to expanding its naval power. As for the ground forces, China has been investing heavily in modernizing its army. The focus is not just on traditional warfare, but also on the digital battlefield. China understands that the future of warfare lies in cyberspace, and it's preparing accordingly. But what does this all mean in terms of strategy? Experts suggest that China's military buildup is a part of a broader strategy known as anti-access/area denial, or A2/AD. This strategy aims to prevent or deter adversaries from entering or crossing large swaths of land, sea, and air. So, the growth of China's military is not just about flexing its muscles. It's a carefully planned strategy designed to protect its interests and assert its position on the global stage. However, it's crucial to remember that military might is just one aspect of a nation's power. Economic strength, diplomatic influence, and the ability to innovate also play crucial roles. China's military growth is undoubtedly impressive, but it doesn't necessarily signal an intention for war. We can't predict the future, but what we can do is understand the present. And right now, China is a rising military power. But a powerful military doesn't necessarily mean war is imminent. Taiwan, a small island with enormous strategic significance. Nestled in the heart of the Pacific Ocean, this island represents a key chess piece in the global power dynamics. Now, why does Taiwan matter so much to China? Well, it's not just about historical claims or national pride, it's about strategy. Taiwan is located in a prime spot, right at the center of the first island chain, a series of archipelagos off the eastern coast of Asia that stretches from Japan through Taiwan to the Philippines. This chain acts as a natural barrier, limiting China's access to the Pacific Ocean. If China were to control Taiwan, it would have a much greater reach into the Pacific, altering the balance of power in the region. But it's not just about the geography. Taiwan is a thriving democracy with a robust economy, home to some of the world's leading technology companies. Its loss would be a blow to the free world and could potentially embolden China to make further territorial claims. The stakes are high, and experts warn that a conflict over Taiwan could be the spark that ignites a much larger war. According to Michael O'Hanlon, a senior fellow at the Brookings Institution, if China were to try to take Taiwan by force, the US might feel compelled to intervene, and that could lead to a major war. It's a potential trigger point that has the world's military strategists on edge. As China continues to flex its military muscle in the region, the question of Taiwan's future becomes increasingly fraught with tension. But remember, Taiwan is just one piece in the jigsaw. There are other factors at play in the region, including territorial disputes in the South China Sea and China's growing rivalry with the United States. Taiwan is a piece of the puzzle, but there's more to China's potential World War III plan. In a potential World War scenario, allies and adversaries will play a decisive role. Let's start with China's relationships with other major world powers. Russia, North Korea, and the United States are particularly noteworthy in this context. Each of these nations could play a key role in shaping the geopolitical landscape in the event of a global conflict. First, Russia. China's relationship with Russia is complex. They share a vast border and have a history of both cooperation and tension. In recent years, they've grown closer, driven by shared interests and a common adversary in the form of the West. Economically, they complement each other. Russia's rich in resources that China needs, while China's robust manufacturing sector is attractive to Russia. In the event of a world war, they could prove to be a formidable bloc. Next, North Korea. China's relationship with its rogue neighbor is often described as close as lips and teeth. China is North Korea's largest trading partner and its most significant ally. While North Korea's unpredictability could pose challenges, its strategic location and nuclear capabilities could also act as a deterrent to adversaries. Now, let's turn to the United States. As the world's two largest economies, the US and China are deeply intertwined. However, they are also strategic competitors with significant ideological differences. These differences have led to a new kind of Cold War featuring trade disputes, technological competition, and military jostling in the South China Sea. In a potential World War scenario, the US could rally its allies against China, leading to a significant global power struggle. It's important to remember that alliances can shift quickly in times of war. In the First and Second World Wars, alliances were fluid and often surprising. The same could be true in a potential World War III. Let's not forget the role of other major powers like India, Japan, and the European Union. Their alignment could significantly influence the balance of power. These alliances and rivalries could be a deciding factor in a possible World War III. Where could the spark of World War III potentially ignite? This is a question that has been on the minds of military strategists and geopolitics experts across the globe. The answer, unfortunately, is not straightforward, but there are a few potential flashpoints that are worth considering. First up, we have the South China Sea. This body of water is a hotbed of territorial disputes, with China, the Philippines, Vietnam, Malaysia, and Brunei all laying claim to various islands and reefs. China's assertive actions, such as building artificial islands and conducting military exercises, have increased tensions in the region. Experts warn that an accidental clash or miscommunication could escalate into a larger conflict. Next, we have the Taiwan Strait. The issue of Taiwan's sovereignty is a red line for Beijing, and any move towards formal independence could trigger a military response. Some experts believe that China could resort to a forceful reunification, which would undoubtedly draw on the United States and its allies, leading to a potential global conflict. Lastly, there's the India-China border. The two Asian giants have a long history of border disputes, and tensions have been escalating in recent years. In 2020, a deadly clash in the Galwan Valley marked the most serious conflict between the two countries in decades. The volatile situation on this border could potentially escalate into a larger war, especially considering the nuclear capabilities of both nations. However, it's important to remember that these are just potential flashpoints. Conflict is not inevitable, and diplomatic efforts are constantly underway to manage and resolve these disputes. But the stakes are high, and the consequences of any misstep could be catastrophic. In conclusion, the South China Sea, the Taiwan Strait, and the India-China border are all potential flashpoints for conflict. These are areas where the spark of World War III could potentially ignite. But let's hope that diplomacy and cooler heads prevail, avoiding any such catastrophe. These are just some of the potential flashpoints that could ignite a global conflict. So, is China planning for World War III? That's a question that many of us have pondered. From our exploration of China's military might, to the strategic significance of Taiwan, and the role of allies and adversaries, it's clear that there are tension points and potential flashpoints for conflict. Yet it remains speculative to say definitively that China is planning for World War III. We've also examined the potential outcomes of a hypothetical conflict, including a comparison of military strength between the US and China. The picture that emerges is complex, with a delicate balance of power and interests at play. And while China's ambitions and actions have raised eyebrows, it's critical to remember that warfare, particularly on a global scale, is rarely straightforward or predictable. While we cannot predict the future, understanding these factors can help us navigate the complexities of our global political landscape. Remember, knowledge is power,